Maria from Streamliners. I'm going to be showing you how to brew a Chemex. We are temporarily closed right now and you are probably brewing coffee at home. So I'm going to run by you the basic steps on brewing a Chemex, and hopefully when we see you again in a few weeks, you will be ready and know exactly how we do what we do and how we choose the beans that we want to brew in a Chemex for you. The very first step that you need to do is to make sure that you have your dosing right, meaning that you have made ground enough coffee grounds for what the amount of water you're going to brew. Today, I'm going to brew a very standard measurement, which is 64 or 60 grams of coffee to about a liter of water. And for your Chemex, considering that this is a pour over step that uses a filter, you want to make sure that your coffee is ground to about a medium fine, not as coarse as you would do for a French press. I've chosen to brew this time Caturra again, because the last time we brewed it in a French press and it really showed off the body and the creaminess of the Caturra beans. In the Chemex, what the Chemex does wonderfully as a brewing method, it pulls out the sweetness and fruity notes in a coffee. So today, it's really going to pull out that maple syrupy sweetness that the Caturra beans have. The first step is to get our paper filter wet. And we want to do that in order to get rid of whatever flavors, papery flavors that might be still left in the filter. At the same time, what that's going to do is going to preheat our vessel. So we're not going to be brewing coffee into a cold container. It's going to be going into a nice warmed up Chemex. So this those water serves two purposes. Like I said, first, it will get rid of whatever paper flavors might be in that filter, and then it'll warm up the base of your Chemex so that the coffee brewed comes right into a warmed up vessel. So we have our grounds, which we are now going to put into our filter. Tare our scale. And we have our water. Our water is also heated up to either 96 degrees Celsius or 205, 206 degrees Fahrenheit. For the same reasons that we spoke about when we brew the French press, we want to make sure that we're not scorching our coffee beans. So the most exciting part of brewing your first bit of coffee is to make sure that we get that bloom just right. So we're going to be adding just enough water again to have all our coffee grounds immersed, pre-infused, wet in that. Usually about 53 grams of water should do it, and you're going to see those perfectly beautiful bubbles created by the carbon dioxide escaping and pre-infusing all those grounds. Extremely important. Once our bloom has happened, then we can begin pouring our water, again, consistently in a spiral motion from the center to outwards, or then outwards towards the center, as slowly as you can, to make sure that you're getting all your coffee grounds wet evenly and that the brewing process is going to happen consistently. It's important to do that because what you don't want is to have an inconsistent brew. By that, what I mean is to have some coffee grounds that are going to be fully brewed and all their flavors dissolved, and then other ones that aren't, and you're not going to get the full flavor spectrum in your coffee beans. We're going to be brewing a liter of water to the 64 grams of coffee that we use. fairly standard measure, which will give you a beautiful cup with enough body, balance, aftertaste to taste everything that is in that coffee bean. And what's really wonderful about the Chemex is that the reason why you're able to really distinguish those sweet and those fruity notes is because the filter really takes away any fines or texture that might interfere with those clear fruity flavors. So it gives you a very clean, very crisp, very sharper or fine-tuned cup of coffee, and it allows you to then really taste the sweet and fruity notes that may come from a bean. For that reason, we usually like to brew lighter roasts. I prefer to brew lighter to medium roasts over on the Chemex at Streamliners, and I like to vary it so that you can get to know the beans. You can distinguish what a Bourbon City will do in a Chemex, what the Caturra might do. The Classic Breakfast is another one of my absolute favorites on the Chemex. So it's important to have that spiral motion when you're pouring your water, and you're going to know if you've done a good job in brewing those beans consistently when you see that all your coffee grounds consistently and evenly go down to the bottom of that paper filter. You're not creating a cone. You're not going to have coffee grounds on the outsides or on the perimeters of the filter. If you have that cone, then what that shows you is that you have over extracted the coffee beans inside the paper filter, and everything that is around the perimeter, it's actually been under extracted or not brewed properly. So it's really important that your Chemex, that you do a good job in a slow, steady spiral pour. And those last little bit, as we get closer to that 1,000 milliliters or liter for it, you want to pour nice and slow. Just not to go over, just a tiny more. And there we have it. And that is how you brew your Chemex at home. So I hope everyone is staying safe. I hope you are staying well caffeinated. And we can't wait to see you soon and brew for you.